Hey everyone. All right. Welcome to a new semester or term, right? Whoa, like I can't believe that we even made it through that last one. I saw a t-shirt online that said something like 2020 was a unique leap year. There was 29 days in February, 3 months in March, and 500 days in April. And that's kind of how I'm feeling. I don't know if you all are, but like I even had to like after finals were over, I kind of just had to take a break. And I hope you all also got a break. It didn't help that I was sending you emails though. So this video is an introduction video, so you can kind of meet me, find out who your crazy professor is, and so I can kind of start setting up some expectations. We'll go over the syllabus. I'll kind of explain what we're going to do on Wednesday. Sorry. I totally had my days mixed up, so I apologize for that. So, and this will also give you a chance to kind of think about things. That way on Wednesday, when we do have our webinar, we'll have a question answer and where we can kind of go through and answer everybody's questions and kind of see where you are and help clarify, hopefully. So I have a little presentation, so I'm just going to share my screen with you and we'll just kind of go through that. And then again, just kind of as we go along with this will kind of set up the pattern of what we'll be doing. So on Mondays, I will be doing a lecture slide show like this, and that will consist of our Monday class time. And then on Wednesdays, we'll be doing live webinars where you guys will be present with me. So that will be really good. I'll try to set these up kind of like podcast almost, where you could listen to it. But at the same time, if you need to come back and reference the slideshow, then there will be something there for you. So when I finish with this, what I'll do, again, just to set up the pattern, is I upload them to YouTube. So I'll send you a YouTube link so you can review these. We'll put them on Canvas. We'll also send you the slideshow, and we'll put the slideshow on Canvas. And in this case, I'll be attaching the syllabus as well. But if there's any documents or quizzes or anything like that, all those things will come out to you on Monday mornings in a kind of newsletter format with all of this stuff, okay? So you can kind of expect that next Monday. This will be the pattern going forward. And get 8 weeks. We'll make it through this. Fingers crossed, it's better than this crazy last winter. Okay, so let me share my screen really quickly here. All right, I have my presentation. Just gonna get it going here. All right, I covered my present. Okay, here we are. All right, so this is me. Okay, so you're gonna see, I'm gonna explain, I have a pattern here and you're gonna work this pattern a little bit as well. So what I prefer to be called is Dr. Bridget. So you can, if you're not comfortable with calling me by my first name, you can call me Dr. Sheffer or professor or teacher or what. I kind of answer to everything. So that's fine. Whatever is fine. Okay. So we jokingly, I think Michael's in this class. There was a semester where I had the students call me Dr. Sister Professor Bridget Reynolds Sheffer. So, I mean, we can go that route too. I just always thought that was so funny. It just always would make my day. Okay, so my professional goals, again, I'm setting up a pattern for you. You'll see later if you haven't noticed it already. Some of you already have done this. So I want to write some books about gospel principles. That's like my dream right now. And so I started a book on agency, and I'm not too far in it. I'm also working on a chapter with one of my professors from my PhD, where we're writing about teaching and what that means. And so these kind of topics are really, really important to me. You can kind of get a sense of what I really care about. So I have a question on here. Do you like direct or indirect personal communication? So like, I prefer direct communication. Actually, when people speak to me indirect, like with an indirect pattern, I don't know often what they're talking about, which makes it sound like I'm totally on the autism spectrum. So, but also like sometimes I'll talk to others and they have an indirect communication style, and I don't realize that I might be sending them messages that I did not intend to send. And so anyway, that's just kind of fun. So I'm just kind of curious, what do you like? So what's the difference? Direct is like, I'll give you an example of this. Direct is like, hey, child of mine, you need to go to the bathroom, when they were really small, like this. Okay. Where an indirect, which is my husband, he might say something like, have you spent some time in the restroom today? Okay, so you can see the difference, but you might prefer one or the other. So I'm just curious, again, this is just a getting to know you question. So what I have here on my screen is just me, so you can kind of see me actually wear the same shirt, funny. And then this is TMI, but this is when I had my last baby. This is how old they are now. They're all teens now. So that's kind of where our family is. I like to joke that I'm always like, I'm mom first. That's not a joke, that's true. I'm a mom first. And so there will be times when I might not respond as quickly, or times when I say, you know what, this is urgent, my family is first. And so this is part of the reason why I like being an adjunct professor, is because it allows me the flexibility to be able to put my family first and not have to worry about the stress of a full-time job, because I'm a perfectionist. So, okay, so here's my first slide. Note the pattern, we'll come back to that, okay? So just a little bit more about me. I try to be professional, and it's like I cannot. So this photo right here was me doing a filter from the Harry Potter app. I don't even remember what it's called. The Wizarding World of what, I don't know. But this is a like a Professor Trelawney. Anyway, I just like, I can't not do dumb things. And this is kind of, oh, whoops. The other one is kind of the same thing. I was trying to jump off a bridge with that swing, and I couldn't do it. Like, it was honestly so hilarious. Like, I was so bad at it. Like, you didn't know that it's possible to be bad at something like that, but it is, and that's me. This is my other thing. So I have a PhD in management communication. Actually, PhD in, so it's like professional communication. But what I deal with, and my kind of area of expertise, is more like interpersonal communication. It's more connecting with each other, and more about what that means. And so you'll see as we go through this, the School of Communication at BYU focuses on mass communications, and that's why they call it plural. And so you'll notice as we talk about the mass communications that I'll be putting things in there about how to manage and work with a group, or how to manage and work with family or loved ones, or whatever the case may be, because that's my particular area of expertise. But I just always thought this cartoon was so funny too. So, all right. What? Oh, okay. So now we need to talk about the syllabus. So this is where I guess things get serious and kind of need to really focus on class. So let me bring that up for you. Really quickly here. So let's see, how do I want to do this? So I'm just going to kind of go over it. I'm not going to read everything. So let me tell you my philosophy about reading and about you as students. I am a firm believer that if you've made it this far, you're literate. And if there's things in the syllabus that you want or need to know, you can read them. I am going to highlight the most important things, but everything else is for you to read. Okay, it's your responsibility. This is the same with our reading assignments. I will not be covering everything that I assign you to read. My belief is that you are very intelligent. You need to know, and if I'm just covering all the same things that you've read, it's a waste of my time and your time. So heads up on that. That's my philosophy about reading. But I want to make sure that you understand like why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I want you to be successful, and I also want you to learn everything that you possibly can. um, and hopefully in that process be edified and uplifted. Okay, so okay, here's my name, right? Obviously, this is the best way to reach me if you want to email me. So let me just add on here right now before I send this out to you. Expect like 3 to 5 days for me to respond. I try to check my email, particularly since we've been online, much more frequently, but on occasion, like particularly on the weekends, this is, if it's urgent, this is not the best way to get a hold of me. But I have another way, and that is Remind. So this is the best way to reach me. We're going to talk about this more in just a minute because you need to sign up for Remind, but basically it allows you to text me directly. But while protecting kind of both of our privacy. So again, I'll talk about this in just a minute, but this is the best way. And usually if you text me in this way, I will respond pretty quickly. And so that, again, especially if it's urgent, just use Remind. Some students don't feel comfortable using Remind, and there's a number of reasons why. Again, I'll cover those in just a minute, but honestly, it's very safe and the most effective way to get a hold of me. So, okay, Canvas. I sent out an email 3 weeks ago, and I know it was right just before finals started in a pretty overwhelming time, actually. But I wanted to make sure that you got these books because you need them. This is, because we're online, we're going to use these really as a crutch to be able to get through this class. So these are the 2 books that you need. You need Social Media, Enduring Principles. So it looks like this. Okay, so it's like this teal color with a painting on it. And then you need this book, Irresistible by Adam Alter. This is a popular, they call it popular press book, right? So it's like nonfiction. Students love reading this. Like I assign it in my classes and Dr. Church assigns it in his classes, and everyone just really truly enjoys reading it. So just be mindful that this one is supposed to be like a fun read to go along with this one, which is going to tell you things that you know, but also teach you a pattern as well. So just be mindful of that. Okay. There will be other videos and resources that will be assigned on Canvas. So this is something that you're going to want to watch out for as well. So just be mindful that this is your primary, these are your primary things that you need, but that there will be other things that will also be on Canvas that you're going to need as well. Okay, you'll notice here that there's required software for this class. So one of the objectives of this course is niche building. And niche building means that we need to create an online space for you that represents you and your personal brand. So in order to do that, we're going to build a little website together. Okay, don't worry, it's not going to be that bad. And if you already have one, we can work with it. That's something that we can talk about on Thursday, okay? Wednesday. Wednesday. Okay, so you're going to need a domain from byu.edu. So this is a link, you can click here and go and sign up for one. This is an amazing option because basically they host and provide the service that a hosting site and a URL site, and they have a control panel. I mean, they provide some amazing services for you that you would have to pay a pretty good penny for free as a student. So this is really huge. So this is something that we're using to build kind of portfolios. And again, it's just going to be something that you're going to need from here on out. Now, if you're a minor, we can talk. If you are looking to, again, if you're looking to apply for the Communication Studies program, this is no question, you've got to build this. If you've already built a website, we can talk. There are things that we can do that will help you. I don't want you to have to do work twice. So I had a student last semester, she was awesome, brilliant. And I didn't know this, but she had built an amazing website from scratch. She coded the whole thing. And then she built a second website for the 238 class. And I wish I would have known. I didn't know until we got halfway through the website assignments. And once that happened, then I was like, wait, like, let's rethink this. And so please just let me know up front. Again, I don't believe in doing the same work twice. I just don't. I think it's ineffective. We will be using WordPress in my examples that I give you. And so be mindful of that as well. There are a couple of other options to help you build your website, but the way I'm going to teach will be using WordPress. So I would highly recommend that if you don't have a website, you need to build one, you do it this way. In the past, I've had students ask, can we use Wix? And one semester I let them, and I regret it. I've regretted it ever since. It did not look professional, and that is really important to us as your professors and as the communication school. So Wix is not an option here. You need to do it this way. So sorry, if you have a website that's already built on Wix, let's look at it. Let's see if it's professional. Again, let's talk. So that's coming up. That'll be some of the very first things that we do. So just be mindful of that as well. So the purpose and description of this course is here. This is a section that you need to read on your own. I'm going to highlight a few things really quickly. So the first sentence says this is a learning-centered survey course. So what a survey course means is that we're going to be talking about a huge, broad area of discipline in the communication studies program. And that hopefully will give you a chance to kind of see what communication studies is, what the options are, and get you excited about what this could be. Okay, so this means, and then if you kind of skip down to the second paragraph, this means that we're talking about theory, we're talking about research, we'll be talking about history and philosophy, we'll be talking about a whole bunch of things. Hopefully that'll get your brain thinking, that'll help us work on our critical awareness of media and how we interact with each other. So again, this is the purpose of this, is to be really broad and to be hands-on at the same time. So we do a lot of stuff in here, and hopefully that will be really fun for you. These are the course objectives. Okay, so everything that I try to do, particularly assignment-wise, will be related to the course objectives. So you can come back to this if you feel like, what's the point of this assignment? Then come back and read this, or ask me, and I'll explain to you why you're doing what you're doing. Okay. Diversity statement. So we have, I'm not sure how to approach this. We sometimes have students who don't like it when people express opinions that are different than their own. And the purpose of this statement, particularly being in the syllabus, is to say that we recognize our differences. I'll just highlight this area right here. In cultures, ethnicities, language, social or economic backgrounds. I know that some of my students have been members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and some of them have not, which means we're also dealing with different belief systems. And you know, even within the church, we have different ideas about how things should be approached. My point and purpose in my classes is to make sure everyone can express their ideas without being shut down, without snide remarks, without feeling awkward in any way, that it's a very open and equal experience for all of us. Okay. All right, these are the course policies. This is important professionalism. So we have, in the School of Communications, we have a professionalism statement and expectation. If you do something in class that does not meet that, which I'm sure you won't, it happens very, very rarely, but it does happen, then you can be, what's the right word? We can have a conversation about that, okay? So we do expect you to behave in a professional manner on the Zoom webinars, in your papers, in your discussions, in everything that we're doing. We do want you to be professional. You can still be professional and be fun, okay? That is also another thing that I want to emphasize. It doesn't have to be, professional doesn't equal boring, but it does equal respect. So please be mindful of that. So plagiarism is the next thing. I know you get this all the time. I think we sometimes get a deaf ear to it. I had to report several students to the honor code office last semester, and it was the worst. Please don't do that. And whatever it is that you feel like you're trying to compensate for by plagiarizing, it's not worth it. Okay, so please just don't do it. I would be most grateful. All right, style and submission guidelines for the assignments. You know as well as I do, every semester and almost every assignment, someone's going to say, is it single spaced or double spaced? What kind of things can I do? Where do I go? What? So you are expected in this class to use Word to write for your written assignments. Unless it's a group thing, then you use Google Docs, which is fine. Everything should be in APA style. They've released a 7th edition, so we need to go with the 7th edition. I will show you a place where I have links to all of the websites that I've listed here on how to use APA. You can always do a search on YouTube for how to use APA. Tons of stuff on there. So again, you want to make sure that when you are submitting a paper that it follows APA guidelines. This also means that every paper, unless I say no, it does not need this, every paper should have a title page, and every paper should have a references page, not works cited, references. Works cited is a different citation style, okay? So be mindful of that. You've got to have reference page and a title page. The other thing is 12-point font, always, double spaced. Try to keep it in Garmond, the actual, you can do Arial. The actual APA guideline actually lists the fonts you can use. That's how specific it is. So just be mindful of that. You should have it double spaced. So just FYI, okay. I don't love double spaced, but that's the guidelines for APA. So we'll go with it. Okay, so every assignment, except for a discussion board, every assignment that's a paper needs to look like this. All right. Okay, next thing, let's take a breath, little break. This is a lot, I know. Participation in attendance. Okay, so I want to read this quote to you. This is a quote that was given to me by Dr. Church, who's in the Communication Studies program. I loved it so much, I had to start putting it in my syllabi too. So again, I'm going to read it to you, and I want you to be thinking about, if this is what I'm supposed to do as an instructor, then what are you supposed to do as a student? Okay, so my role, starting here, as the instructor, is to guide, to provoke thinking and discussion, to prod, that means to push you a little bit, to see why you think what you think, to listen, to follow your student's lead, to see where you guys are coming from, to clarify questions, to critique, to grade, to structure, to mediate, to respect, to challenge, to offer choices, and to assess what's working and not working in the classroom. So, on occasion, I get negative remarks because I shift things during class, during the semester. But the reason why, 100% of the time, is because I am keenly aware of what's going on with my students, and I need to either pull back or ramp it up. And so I need it to look different. And therefore, assessing that process please be patient, because I am actually trying to work and provide the best educational program in class for you, to meet your needs, because every group of students is different, okay? So your role then is to learn, which seems like obvious, but it's not. Like, if you don't do your readings, then you're not doing your role, right? Because what you're doing is trying to check a box just to get through the class. But what I'm asking you to do is to take on the learning process, ask questions, seek to understand the material. I believe in discussion-based classes. We'll try to make our webinars as open as possible. I know online this has been very different, and so we'll just do the best we can. We'll assess it, like it says earlier in the paragraph, and just kind of keep going forward, okay? So one of the roles that you have as well is to be present. You need to watch these videos or listen to them. It takes me quite a bit of time to prep for and to get all the technology prep to send them out to you. So when I do that, I need you to actually follow through. And it's funny, because I put them on YouTube, I can track who's watched them and who hasn't. And that's really helpful for me as well. So please be mindful of that. I also would ask that you please log into the webinars. This is really important for me, because I need to know where you are. If you have questions, this is the best way to get them answered. Because often, if you have that question, so does someone else in the class, and you're actually doing a service to yourself and to them by asking the question when we're in a group setting. So just be mindful of that. Also, you will be receiving 5 points for every webinar just for showing up, okay? If you log out early, we'll know, because we have all of your names, right, listed there, okay? So here's the deal. I don't accept late work. And the reason why I don't accept late work is because that is part of being professional. I can't imagine working on a program or on a project in a workplace and saying to your employer, you know, I'm sorry, I just didn't get around to that. I just didn't. That's kind of not an option, particularly if it happens over and over again. And so I think one of the best things I can do is expect you to reach deadlines. There are times when there are extenuating circumstances. I need you to contact me before they happen or while they're happening. For example, I had a student 2 semesters ago whose brother passed away, and his brother had given him, he was going to go on a trip, on a cruise, which nobody wants to go on a cruise now, funny enough. And the brother who passed away, his other brother, the one who is still living in my class, was given permission to take that trip in behalf of the brother. So he just let me know like the week before he left. That's really important, right? It's part of the grieving process. So that was fine, letting me know in advance. The other thing that is really important is situations where it might be happening right now. So I had a student when I was teaching at UVU who got in a car accident on her way to class. So she just texted me while she was waiting for the police to come. So those kinds of things give us extenuating circumstances. Those kinds of things I get. I want to help you with those. Other things like I just didn't get around to it. It's just been so hard. I didn't plan ahead. Those things, I don't know. Like, we need to figure that out. Okay? So just be mindful of that. Also know that I offer extra credit. So if something crazy does come up and it's like you just are not getting an assignment in, there's always that extra credit that you can use. Okay? So just heads up on that. All right, so assignments. How do you get what you get in this class? The points, the grade, whatever. So every week we'll be doing, it says in-class reading quizzes. Obviously they'll be on Canvas reading quizzes. They'll be due by Wednesday, our webinar day. Okay, so before we have the webinar at 1 o'clock, you need to have your reading quiz done. Now this week, I'm just gonna give you the week to actually get through it, because I know, again, we're working on building a pattern. So just be mindful of that. This week it's gonna be a little more flexible. Next week you need to have it done by Wednesday at 1 o'clock, okay? And then each one of these quizzes will be 15 to 20 points. And these quizzes will be open book. So I like to call them interactive quizzes. So what I'm looking for you to do is use the quiz while you're reading. You bounce back and forth between the two. That way it can guide you on what's most important, but also can help keep you motivated to keep reading as well, okay? So just a heads up on that. There will be a few exams. There will be 3 of them. They'll be taken online. I'm not going to use Proctorio because they're going to be opinion project based. They're going to look different than any other test that you've taken. So it helps me to know how well you're synthesizing the information if I have you apply it to a situation versus just memorizing terms. So just a heads up on that, okay? They'll be somewhere between 50 and 80 points. It kind of depends. Again, I like to assess and kind of see where we're at, what knowledge you already have, and what knowledge we need to make sure that you're retaining, okay? You're gonna be doing some presenting in this class. So there are going to be 2 presentations, and I need to build that other section. This is quite embarrassing. So this other section that we're going to be doing is you're going to be presenting on a social media platform. So this one is worth 100 points. So you're going to turn in a paper, a research paper, and you're going to do a presentation for us, and you're going to teach us about a platform. We will be providing a list for you where you can pick one, and that needs to be done this week. And then we'll assign you what you're going to do every week. And you'll be giving these presentations to us during our webinar on Wednesdays. Okay, so I'm just going to, again, just remind you that hopefully this is a fun experience. It was so fun last semester. So we covered so many platforms that most people didn't even know existed. And so hopefully you'll get to learn a lot and you'll get to research a lot as well. Okay, so I just realized that I thought I was sharing my screen and I wasn't. So I'm sorry. You can go through the syllabus with me. So you can just pull out your syllabus. I am so sorry. I just looked down and I was like, whoa, I've been talking like nonstop and you're probably just seeing me and you're not seeing the screen. So I just really want to apologize for that. So I'll just finish up really quickly. Again, you can go into your syllabus and you can look at all of these different things. So 2 more things we need to talk about is the group research project. This is going to be due at the very end of the term. It will be done in a group, and and you do it in 3 different assignments. So it's kind of baby steps on top of each other. And the purpose for this is to kind of have you think about it all term long. Okay, so first you're going to pick a research topic with a research question. We'll talk more about that. Then you're going to create a proposal, and then for the very end, this is what we use for our final exam. You're going to present your research and turn in a research paper. So again, look at the syllabus. It tells you all the points and gives you a basic idea. The other thing that you're going to be needing to take care of will be your website. And so we'll just be building out your website throughout the term. And each time we work on it a little bit more, it'll be worth about 25 points. It totals up to 200 points. So we've got kind of some major things. So you've got your quizzes, your reading quizzes. We'll do 2 to 3 exams, these presentations, and then building your website. So those are your major assignments that you're going to be focused on. Okay, so I am going to go back to my actual slide, and keep going. So that was our syllabus chat. Okay, so there's, again, just so much going on here. All right, so here's Remind. Okay, so here's what you need to do. So this is always so funny. Okay, so if you don't have a smartphone, okay, so if you have a smartphone, which most of us do, you can download the app and it's called Remind. Or you can just do this, even if you do have a smartphone, you just text this at COM238 to the number 81010. And then what happens is it automatically enrolls you in Remind, and then I can go in and I can look and see. This allows me to send you messages that are like maybe urgent issues or assignments come up, or not come up, but like there's a question on it that I know most of you probably have, so I can just answer it through text. Or again, like my student who got in a car accident was able to text me through Remind. I prefer not giving out my phone number for a number of reasons. One of them includes being threatened by a student in my previous teaching life because they were able to find my phone number. So, which, I mean, you could probably if you worked really hard, but this allows us to kind of protect both of our privacies, but also to have some very good interaction that's immediate, especially since there's no office hours. And yeah, you know, it just to help, okay? Because I want to really help you succeed through this class. All right, so that's how you sign up for Remind. If you do this, 5 points, okay? Not if, you need to do this, it's worth 5 points. Let me rephrase that. So please sign up for Remind, okay? All right, next thing that we need to work on, oh, let me go back up, is Canvas. So if you haven't been on Canvas before, there's 2 ways to get there. You can type in this, byu.instructure, let me go, .instructure.com or canvas.byu.edu. So when I talked to OIT, they said they prefer for you to use canvas.byu.edu. And the reason why is because it runs through their servers and they can track how it's working. If you use the byuinstructure.com, it goes through Instructure's servers and they can still track it, but it's not at the same rate. So you just type in either one of these. You should be able to use your BYU ID login if you haven't done that yet. And something we need you to do is get on this week. We need you to make sure that you understand how Canvas works. In all of the chaos that was last semester, we were getting emails last week, finals week, of people saying, I'm sorry, I didn't know how to use Canvas. And so I didn't get on. It's not gonna work this term. So here's how you get there. If you have any questions, please email me or please call OIT help desk so that we can get you on now and not have some drama in a couple of weeks. Okay, here's your first reading. This is the one. This particular reading quiz is going to be due by Friday. So you'll have some time. That next week it will be due by Wednesday. So you're going to read Humphreys chapter 1 and 2. I think you're going to be surprised at how incredibly short these chapters are. And then you're going to be reading the altar prologue. So we're reading them at the same time. Okay. So we're reading 2 together. You'll find that this one's more, it's not terrible to read. It's very academic. This one's more just popular press, more fun to read, okay? So prologue and chapters 1 and 2 in the Humphreys book, which is a social media book. All right. I also need you to complete this slideshow by tomorrow at 1 p.m. So what do you mean? What do I mean by complete this slideshow? So I'm sharing the slideshow with you. When I send it out today, it will be the 3rd time I've sent it out. And everybody needs to do a page so we can have these class introductions. So just like I did my introduction at the very beginning of this incredibly long video, I want you to do an introduction of you as well. And this is something that we're going to be doing in our webinar. so we can learn about each other, especially since we're not in a classroom together. So here's what the template looks like. You're going to put your name, you're going to list your professional goals and whether or not you like the direct or indirect personal communication, and you can put your photo here. Obviously, you can play with this. You notice I kind of played a little bit with mine. You have creative freedom on your slide. So like here's our TA, Rachel Wheeler. She's going to go in and she is going to play with this, and she's going to put information on it, answer the questions, and do all kinds of fun things with it that is reflective of her. So, so you know, we do have a TA in this class who will be Rachel. She'll introduce herself on Wednesday as well, and we like to jokingly call her Dr. Junior. She's been TAing this class for me for a while, and so she's an excellent, excellent resource. She can really help you. So please be mindful of that. So I'm just gonna sneak. So here's Kirsten. Look how cute. She just did her own thing, exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna hide it so we can come back to that on Wednesday, but that's what we're looking for. So in the slideshow, it's been shared with everyone. You just go in and make a slide of yourself. If like all the slides are full because people are still adding classes, just copy and paste and put yourself in and it's perfect. It'll totally work, okay? You guys, that is so much. That is so much today. And I know our class is supposed to be 3 hours long, but I sent out that email on Saturday. There's plenty for you to do, plenty, plenty. Go look at Canvas. We'll be doing more review of Canvas on Wednesday, so you can kind of see, so you can ask questions. And I think that's everything. I hope we have a fun term together. I think we will. I like teaching the term classes because they go by fast, but it's like fast, intense fun together. So I look forward to getting to know all of you, and please email me if you have any questions. We'll talk to you later. Bye. Wait, what if I can't end this? I'm not ending it. Okay, bye again. I gotta stop sharing first. See ya.